Potionomics is what I've basically been spending the last few weeks playing. It's been a bit inconsistent, if I'm going to be honest with you, based on just the fact that my life has become a busy hellhole of shit I need to do. But the long and short of it, Potionomics, what is it? What do you do in it, and how do you play? Potionomics is about you, a budding alchemist, a budding potioneer, a budding potion maker, and how your uncle has passed away and given you the rights to his potion shop. Sort of think along the lines of Stardew Valley, except instead of the simple wonder and fulfillment of a new farm, you enjoy the task of paying off an enormous debt, also inherited from your uncle, and battling it out against other potion sellers who want nothing but your blood. And then for some of them, your love and affection. And that's pretty much the long and short of it. You've inherited a potion-selling shop, and you've also inherited the debt that your uncle gave you after giving you the shop, and you now have to pay back that debt, or otherwise you're going to be taken away by a demon woman. It's very simple, and it creates a cyclical nature to the game, which makes it an endlessly replayable game. There's always going to be something to do for the duration of the game. You upgrade your shop to brew more potions to get more money so that you can buy better equipment to make better potions to win the weekly competition, and then rinse repeat. It's cyclical in that nature, and whilst it starts out engaging, the game does become quite repetitive quite quickly. Yes, you will always have something to do, but it's always going to be the same thing. But it tries to balance that out by making it sort of a dating simulator at the same time. So throughout your journey, you will meet a collection of different characters. There is Muktuk, the easygoing, bombastic walrus artist, I should say. Zid, the local guild's bard. Mint, the high-strung, excitable hero who wants to enjoy herself and wants to do well for the guild. There's Corsac, similarly, another hunter for the guild, but one who tries to take from the environment and always give something back. Roxanne, the buxom demon you face up against in the first round of the competition. Baptiste, the owner of the guild, a flamboyant man. Salt and Pepper, the two cat pirates from local. Quinn, the shut-in potion ingredient seller. Luna, the local marketing agent, who I still can't really decide what she is. I think she's a moth, but honestly, I'm not so sure. And finally, Saffron, the local hippie, who sells you upgrades to your shop and all the fuel that you'll need to boost your potions. Each one of them has a different personality to them, different reasons for you to go join them, different reasons for you to talk to them, and by and large, no matter what kind of person you'd like to speak to, you are going to find somebody who will fit your bill out of this group. They all fit a certain caricature, a certain stereotype that you'd probably fall in love with or enjoy talking to. But that is only one part of the game. So I mentioned that this game gets quite repetitive quite quickly, and they manage that by making it sort of dating sim at the same time. But that's not the only part of it. Potionomics is made up of multiple different aspects. There is the dating sim, the potion making simulator, the shop management simulator, the time management simulator, haggling simulator, and gardening. And let's not forget the deck building aspect of the game, although we'll get back to that. So there's multiple different aspects of the game, and they all come together to fit this one cohesive whole. But my issue with the game is more just the fact that nothing's really fleshed out. Potion making is just adding different ingredients together and hoping for the best brew. The more ingredients you use, with the higher potency, the better potions, and so on and so forth. The dating sim is very basic. You just talk to them, upgrade your relationship, and eventually you can start dating them. The shop management sim is a little bit more interesting. You change out shelves and change the way your shop looks in order to sell better potions or sell specific potions to get more money for them. There's the time management aspect, where each time before the competition is 10 days. Each day is split up into 6 chunks, and each activity takes up a specific amount of chunks throughout the day, which can get somewhat stressful sorting it out. There is the small amount of gardening which you can do, where you can create your own ingredients based off of these plants, where you feed them ingredients to make more ingredients of the same kind. And then there's the haggling simulator, which is a lot of what makes you your money. So when you create a potion, you will sell those potions to the members of the public from the local area, and you will haggle with them to increase the price of your potion. This is a bit of a back and forth in that you will tell them that this potion is worth X amount and this is worth so on and so forth. and you will only be able to play those amount of cards based on how much patience they have. Each client has a certain amount of patience, and you can only play enough cards to meet that patience. If they run out of patience, then the sale is over and they walk away without buying anything. However, if you're able to close the deal before then with a high enough price, you can make a markup of 50% higher than what you originally sold the potion for. This gets a little bit more complex, as you can only play a certain amount of cards per turn, and once that turn is over, it passes over to the client, who will similarly try to lower the price. And what that means, by and large, is it'll just increase your stress levels. The more stress you get, then the less cards you're going to be able to pull to actually play the less cards you're going to be able to play to make your markup higher, and the less you're going to be able to sell the potion for. Eventually getting to a point where you're too stressed to be able to actually sell the potion. It's a tight balance, but this only really starts to become a major issue in the game in the final fight. So, in the first 40 days, I never needed to think at all about how much stress I had. I would just need to get in, sell the potions, make more potions, sell more potions, and go back and forth, back and forth. I never needed to worry about stress at all. It was such a minor inconvenience until the final 10 days, when it started being a bit more consistent, when I was selling a lot more potions and I was having to deal with more customers, making it so that I had more stress. But that's sort of my issue. This game is very easy. It is exceptionally easy, to the point where it's a very relaxing game, but I'm not getting challenged anymore. I spent a good solid few days where I just get on and play until 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a super enjoyable game. There's crisp and clean animations. The art direction is absolutely gorgeous. It has catchy, relaxing music, so you can just sway along to the music whilst you're just getting along your daily chores. And the cast of characters is just fun, diverse, and even if you won't like one character more than the other, I can guarantee you won't dislike a single character. They're all so enjoyable. And even then, the replayability, it's pretty high. The gameplay loop is engaging, but only up to a certain point. After the second or third boss, repeating the same tasks over and over again with little to no gain, really, apart from the idea that I just need to beat the next boss, it gets a little bit repetitive and, dare I say, boring more than anything. And then when you get to the final 10 days, it's just more of the same. And what's quite upsetting is just the fact that not even any of the bosses spike as any sort of challenge. The first boss could give you some kind of a challenge if you don't know what to expect, which is what happened to me. I didn't know what to expect from it, and I did suffer for it. But after that, not an issue. No issue whatsoever. You just make your potion, make it a good enough potion, and go. And the issue with that is that the potion making minigame is so easily broken. There are meant to be debuffs that you need to watch out for, where if you use certain ingredients, it will lower the price of your potion, making it more difficult. So if you go for the ridiculously high potent ingredients to make these amazing potions, you're going to be using you're most likely going to have ones which have decrements to them. So even though you're using a lot high potency ingredients, they have a decrement, so you'll get punished for it. But that doesn't matter. You just use nothing but high-potency ingredients to make the best potion, and the decrement doesn't matter, because it doesn't take into account the fact that it's got decrements when it comes to the boss fight. You just need to make a very good potion, which is very simple. And the issue is, nothing is really that fleshed out. Now, I'm not going to say that everything needs to be fleshed out. A collection of small mini-games to help bolster the main gameplay loop is fun. I think that's fine. It helps elevate the main gameplay loop and make it more enjoyable, giving you appropriate downtime to go do something else whilst after getting bored of the main gameplay loop. But the main gameplay loop is creating potions and then haggling with people. The deck building and the potion creating part. The deck building part is probably the main part of the game, as is what you're going to be doing for boss fights and to make yourself money. It is so minute that I did not need to change a deck at all throughout the entire game. I picked one specific deck, and that was just to create just to use cards that gave me as much interest as possible, and that was it. I didn't need to change my deck at all for the rest of the game, not for bosses and for nothing in between. and the potion making gets repetitive and almost dull. When you have as many ingredients as I did by the end game, you have to spend about 10 minutes to siphon through all of your ingredients just to make one potion, and then you have to do that 5 more times because you have so many cauldrons that you need to use up, that you need to fill up with your potion. Because you have so many cauldrons that you need to fill up with your ingredients to make so many potions, it gets so repetitive after a while. I feel like the game missed out on fleshing out its core gameplay loop and was more interested in ticking off all the boxes. Cute characters, dating sim, deck building. It is your key indie game. It just has so many features without being able to focus on any one particular function, and thus everything falls apart. Which is unfortunate because the game, what is there, is a lot of fun. And that being said, I have enjoyed my time in Potionomics. It's just that it became very hard for me to finish the game as I got further and further into it. The first 2 bosses, I think, are just great fun. You enter into the cyclical nature of the game, and you don't know what to expect, and you're finding it hard balancing everything out as you make sure that, I want to talk to these characters, but I also need to buy ingredients. Oh, but I also need to brew these potions. Oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. It's amazing. That balance is a perfect imitation of what owning a shop would be like, and owning a potion shop even more so. But after the second boss, you have so many ingredients, and you know exactly what to expect, that nothing surprises you anymore. You know exactly what to go for, and it just becomes routine. Not cyclical and enjoyable, cyclical in the routine sense, in that I just want this to be over, which is sad. So if I had to say, I wouldn't recommend Potionomics. I think for the initial, if you wanted to get it, buy it on discount. I think that's the most ideal time to buy it, because it is fun, and it is a good way to while away the time, but at full price, no, I couldn't recommend it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next review, which I believe will actually most likely be God of War Ragnarok. Possibly. I may do a review on that. We'll see. Either way, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.